So we have today a social media specialist with a master's degree in business management and debut author of the contemporary fiction Bun Butter Jam. Novina is our very own girl next door. She is passionate about journaling her daily life, which turned out to be the catalyst for kickstarting her full-fledged writing career. So guys, let's welcome the new age author and talk about her experience with her new book, Bun Butter Jam. Welcome, Novina, to the show.
Hi.
Hi. So, Novina, before we go deeper into what the book is about and all that stuff, first of all, just tell me, how does it feel to become a published author?
It feels I'm very happy about it, and yeah, it was little hard at very starting that can I able to do this? Like how I'm going to do this? I had a very I was scared at the very first half to do this, and then slowly I had this confidence. Okay, let me do it, and then now I feel like wow, I made it now.
Good. So you've almost sketched out like a graph, from being scared to self-doubt to actually doing it and now feeling euphoric about it. Brilliant, excellent. So that itself is inspiration to, I think, a lot of youngsters out there who are still wondering, can I do it? Should I do it? Will I do it? How will I do it? Things like that. So brilliant, fantastic. So Novina, why don't you tell us just a little bit about what is Bun Butter Jam all about? Is it actually about bun and butter and jam, or is it something else?
It is actually, yes, it is about bun, butter, and jam. Is three girls. It's a trio. Basically, right now a trio is a very good bonding that you understand each other. So that goes with the college life and how they travel and how they get to know each other. And certainly it gives a point that like a person who's struggling with some lot of social anxiety can come out with a lot of boldness inside, from inside it. Like we can make it happen. It's not that like we cannot. There's something that we have to face, and then yes, we'll do it. That's how it is. It starts from how we are meeting, and ending up like how she becomes. It's because it's centered for one woman who's Bun.
All right.
And she eventually meets two other friends. Yeah.
All right. Very interesting. I like the fact that you started the story from a concept which we all love, absolutely love, which is friendship, right? And that puts us in a very light frame of mind. But then as you tell us a little bit about the book, we understand that there is a message behind the whole story as well. And I think that message will surely be very relevant today, to today's youth, because I think youth and everybody for that matter, we all go through anxieties in our day-to-day life about ourselves. And I think that's one of the things that I like, Novina, which you've done in the book, which is that you've taken a concept which is a light read, again, something which warms your heart, which is friendship, which we all relate to. I mean, the moment you say, this is a book about friendship, about three girls who travel, I mean, you got me there. It sounds like a Netflix series, or one of the movies. I will not name which one, right? But then you talk about the message behind it. And I think that's also something which a lot of the readers will instantly relate to. Right, so I think that's what I love about the story here. So good stuff. So the way that, of course, you've created the title of the book, right? Automatically, the first question that springs to my mind, Novina, is that how did you come up with these three characters, bun, butter, and jam?
Yeah, so it's basically based on a real life story, like how it is struggling and how she is being, going through the struggles, and then she comes up eventually how, friends are giving a lesson, or they are a person who irritate you, and they are the person who teach you. They
Very
are both.
true. Very true.
Yeah. So if they are not there, we wouldn't understand where we are itself. It's because they are the only persons who actually make sense, and they make us to understand in the way that we can understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think you're absolutely right. I think friends, the real friends, not just like Facebook friends,
Yeah.
right? But the real friends are like a mirror to you.
Yeah.
They're the closest thing to being a mirror to you, than you yourself. And sometimes, like we say, we have certain blind spots. And we ourselves,
Yeah.
we could be a blind spot for ourselves. Like there are so many things about yourself that you might overlook, right? Because,
Yeah.
it's so personal. Like they say, right? Sometimes you can't figure out the problem because you're inside the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think friends that way bring out the real mirror. So brilliant. I love the fact that it's a fiction novel, right? It's also
Yeah.
inspired by your own real life story. And I think for all the readers out there listening and watching, that's probably one of the reasons why I think one thing about the book is that it comes across to me as very authentic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that authenticity is probably not just coming out from your writing skills, but it's also coming out from the fact that, this is something close to your heart and something, which is inspired in some way or the other through your own life journey.
Exactly.
Brilliant. So is this a new, if I might call it new fad that has come into you about becoming a writer, becoming an author, or is this something that you've been like, you knew that this would happen one day, or you always wanted to get here one day? Is it like a childhood dream, or is it like a...
Yeah, it is. It is exactly my childhood dream. It's because, see, I can say from the scratch, I was writing. I love writing from my childhood. It's like even in, the kuti class works that we write. Eventually, going more outside, I used to sit in the classroom and write all the class works of my friends. It's because I like it. That's a place where you peacefully sit and nobody disturbs and you sit and write. And eventually when I grew, I started writing my own diary. I think something around 2008 or 9. We had the loft diary, which was released. You remember the diary which we have a lock, and then we can lock it and then we can have the key by ourselves. That was the very happy days of my life, where I started writing it of my personal journey and my journal. So where I always write, and I used to present my mom poetry. So for Christmas, for New Year's, I used to give poetry as a gift. So from that point of time, I really wanted to write poetry, and I used to actively participate in all those writing things. So, but eventually I don't get gifts at that point of time because I need to learn a lot. So yeah, it was there all of my life. So I really wanted
You've
to
grown
make
up
this
with this
happen,
bug in you,
and
right?
the time came. And yeah.
So the way that you're describing yourself to me, I kind of see a nerdy side to Novena now, right?
Yeah, I was.
So would you call yourself an introvert or an extrovert throughout your life?
Yeah, that is how the book is actually. So it's typically a very introvert person, but eventually the feeling of an introvert, we really wanted to be a very socialized person, but the struggle is really hard, as I've gone through. It's very, very hard. So like going and facing the when sudden social situation comes in, we won't know like how to work out on like the situation, but the people around you, like how to respond to them, everything will be in a position that you won't understand. It doesn't mean you don't know, you won't understand. That is a phase that introvert struggles. So it's nothing wrong you being an introvert. It's just that you don't understand. We can make it happen. You can travel to be an introvert and still face all the social problems and which you are facing it. That's how
So
it is.
in your mind, then who is an introvert?
An introvert who doesn't talk much, but
Ah,
he or she will respect the space of others,
okay, brilliant.
will respect the space of others, will understand the situation of others, but just that they don't get adapt to it, they don't want it. That's just that. Doesn't mean that like they don't like or they don't get to know or something like that. It's just that they will be in their happy zone. But whatever the situation comes, they can eventually face it. Definitely, they can face it.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right. So good. So I can see now the connection that how it's the connection between the character, the key character in your novel, and a few shades of you yourself in it, and your life journey, right? So that's where the connection comes in. Brilliant. I mean, honestly speaking, all our interactions, I found you so forthcoming, so warm, so chirpy, so full of life that uh, uh, and you know, which is why I would have actually termed you like a very outgoing extrovert kind of a person, right? So,
Yeah.
so I can see that the transition must have been very life changing for you. All
Yeah.
right, brilliant, brilliant. Um, so like you said, and like I already know, you know, you've been one of those people who have this amazing, brilliant habit. Okay, and I cannot give it like more emphasis, amazing, brilliant habit of journaling every day, right? So
Yeah.
so you're a serial journaler, if I may call it, if there is such a term, right? So what is it that you scribble every day, Novina?
Every day, whatever happens, I imagine myself as a friend to
Mm.
me, and I used to talk to myself through a book. So what happened, like, and then I question myself, why would I have reacted in a way that I shouldn't? When you will have some situation that it will come by yourself, and then the later you'll feel regretful, like why did I even shout that point of situation? So I ask myself, but I don't talk inside. I really write in words. So
Ah.
it's like, so I
Yeah,
really
yeah, I
write
know.
in words.
Most people just keep having these conversations in their head, but
Yeah.
like even when we have to study something in school, like they say, the moment you write something,
Hmm.
things just become clearer, and you kind of
Yeah.
never forget them and things like that. So I think that's a good lesson for all our listeners, readers, aspiring writers, also for that matter. That I think journaling probably helps you in a way to discover yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. That
You
is
know?
that is a correct point, Geetika,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I
I think it's the best tool, best
wanted to say.
method for self-discovery. I
Yeah.
myself teach a 6-step
Yeah.
process for self-discovery and things like that and all of that stuff. But really, if you had to replace
Yeah.
everything and all the self-discovery books in one shot, I'd just say
Yeah.
start journaling. You know, that's
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the
You
most.
get to know more about yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think uh, you know, I'm a big fan of the concept which I think Einstein put across, that, you know, have questions, because if you don't have a question, you won't get an answer. So I think journaling,
Yeah.
like you very rightly said, the moment you said, I ask myself questions, you know,
Yeah.
that is the basis of getting deeper and understanding, you know, any situation in a much more intimate manner. Just ask a question:
Okay.
why, how, when, what does it mean, why did
Yeah.
it happen, why do I think like that, you know, things like that. And you get
Yeah.
deeper into the real truth, so to speak, right? So yes,
Yeah.
I think I think this is a great tip also for um, youngsters who are in the process of discovering who they are and what
Yeah.
their,
Yeah.
you know, life mission should be, and how should they live true to themselves, right? So
Yeah.
that they're not just, you know, drifting through life or copying other
Yeah.
people's paths, but
Yeah.
creating their own authentic path, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely journal, guys, like Novina does. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that journaling also helps you to become a better writer. correct? Not just
Yeah.
because you're writing, not just because of the act of writing, but I think because of the act of thinking in a deeper manner. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah, we can take that. It's because thinking deeper is gonna give a more of learning about yourself, right?
Yeah. Correct. And I think especially when you're writing fiction, right?
Yeah.
So this goes for all the readers and lovers of fiction out there, that when you're writing fiction, then I think, like I keep telling people, the most important thing in a fiction novel is the characters,
Yeah.
right? Characters are actually the heart and soul. You might forget the title, you'll forget the chapters, you might forget some incidents, but you know that character will always be
Yeah.
alive. It's almost like real life character to you, right? And
Yeah.
I believe this journaling process, self-discovery process, knowing yourself better as a human being as well, right?
Yeah.
Helps you to
Yeah.
come up with much more deeper, interesting characters. And that's what readers
Yeah.
are looking for, right? So I
Yeah.
think, Navina, we can be assured that all the characters in your story are what I call like onions, and you peel them and peel them, and you get to know more and more about them. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of a fiction novel. So I'm already excited now to read this book from a non-critical perspective, just like a reader. Now I'm going to give it another go. Yeah, brilliant. So what was your writing experience like, Novina? Because I know journaling, poetry, writing, all of these things, or like a lot of us do Instagram captions and all of that stuff these days, right?
Yeah.
Is writing a book different?
It is. It is. So basically, the journal, it's like you can write like what you feel, but a book doesn't give a solution that only you feel you can write, because you have to tell something which is really matters, though it is fictional or though it is a non-fictional. You convey something to people who's around you, right? That is how you explore, and you make your readers happy. So that is how it is. That is a plot. That is the main thing that we have to.
That's a brilliant.
You should be
That's
very
actually a
specific about
brilliant
your
point.
objective.
That's a brilliant point which you make,
Yeah.
Navina, that the key difference between writers and
Right.
authors,
Yeah.
writers as in
Yeah.
people, all of us who write every day in some form or fashion, right? And
Yeah.
actual authors of books, the main thing is that writers write for themselves. Authors
Yeah.
actually write for the reader. And that
Readers.
change of perspective is what sets the ball rolling, sets the tone of the book, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant, fantastic. So guys, remember this point. If you want to write a book, then think from a reader and ask yourself, what is it that the reader would want, to read and want out of this experience? Brilliant, fantastic. So tell us about, let's say, your best moment in the writing journey. Yeah.
So the best moment is like when I started writing. I was like, oh, I can write this. Oh, I can write this. I can add this, because there were three different characters. So basically, when you explore about three different perspective of a person, you make a situation where you give a point to all three of them, right? So that was so exciting when you suddenly, even when you sit and you observe something, and then something happening in front of you, and it's like, this can connect the person who is involving or being an extrovert. An extrovert can do this. Okay, I'm gonna write this, so that they connect them easily. Like this happens, really happens. So actually, as an author, like we tend to take things from what really happening, and like we tend to give a solution out of it, so that they feel comfortable and they understand. Yes, this was my problem. Then I'm gonna find a solution. You give the strength to them, as I believe. So that's how I had a lot of
Yeah, carry
so
on.
I used to So I used to, whenever I write, okay, this point can give my readers some strength. This point can make my readers happy. So all those content, when it comes, like I read, when I go through, when I redo again, when I write again, I smile. And
Mm-hmm.
I like, I can say the difference. Like if you stand in front of a shop and then you see people going, and then you find something that you really want to tell people, then you go right straightly, put in words that is so magical, so real. Like, yeah, you feel, you make them like standing in the position and then they are looking at the situation.
Mm.
So that
Yeah, I
gives
think
some,
the more I listen to you, I feel like writing in a sense, it's also like we say, right? Readers read to escape, right?
yeah,
So in a way, writers are also reading to escape and escape into different souls, different
so
personalities of their characters, right? It is giving you
yeah,
the freedom. Today, today you are Novina. This is who you
yeah,
are. This is what you like. This is how you think. And this is your outward personality. This is your inward personality. These are your dreams. These are your issues and challenges. So you're like jacketed
yeah,
into this one product or one person, right? And
yeah,
writing kind of helps you to be in the shoes of different kind of people, right? Every single day,
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
writing from their perspective,
yeah,
and yeah. So I
yeah,
think writing is a good escape mechanism even for writers, not just for the readers,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
yeah, that I think that is why they say writing is therapeutic.
Yeah, this I didn't think of it, but
Even I didn't. This just
yeah,
come up
it's
in the conversation
exactly
while
right.
I'm talking to you. But maybe that's why writing is
Yeah,
therapeutic, because it lets you to just break from the shackles of who
yeah,
you are, and just and that feeling of freedom, it makes you feel alive.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant, excellent, excellent, good stuff. So, what would have any challenges that you came across in your journey?
Um,
And
yeah. So that is actually like, as I said, I am a social marketing, a social media specialist. I have to work a lot to, so I don't eventually have time to write it. So when I, uh, finding writing time, I need a very peaceful time to write, so that you think a lot, and then you put it into words. So that was a little struggle I'm going through, and then the story comes in, like I had a little crisis on, how to make people understand how what I am talking about. It's because you will have something in mind. It doesn't mean like everybody has to understand what it's
yeah.
inside you, right? You have to make them understand that this is what I'm trying to tell.
Hmm.
So that is the
How
very
did how
main
did you
thing,
how did you
and that is
over
where a mentality is
how
needed.
did you overcome your
Yeah,
time management issue? Juggling with I don't know, could be possibly 9 to 9 kind of a job, and
yeah,
everything that comes along with it, and then getting the time to write. And when I say time to write, like you rightly said, it's not just about getting a time slot, but it's about getting into the right frame of mind, at that
yeah.
particular time, to be able to come out with your best work. How did you manage that?
So basically, like my main objective was that like I need to launch my book, because that being my aim or goal for past, I can tell, 3 4 years. So when I met Geetika ma'am, who was really, when I met her, like I can say that you was one of the thing. It's like, yeah, you're doing it. Like whenever I meet your classes, whenever I try to redo my works, whenever you say that like you can do it, and then like how to plot, then I'm just going on by its way. And then whenever I get the free time, I used to finish, and then like slowly let it be, like let it be. Don't take time. Let it go in a way that it can be done it in a way that like people understand. Time has to be there, but you need to systematically plot it so that you can balance time.
Right.
So it's basically around your how you need to make people understand, and then it is easy to get the position to write it. Like whenever you get free time, whenever your mind is chill, you have to write a lot. I
Brilliant.
finish it a lot. Like
I'm so glad that
yeah.
you took that one tip from me, which is for the benefit of our listeners over here, which is that use, even if you have hectic schedules, right? Use whatever time blocks that you get in between, right? And use them to scribble, to plot out your story, to plot out your chapter, to create short summaries, or to just dump things on a piece of paper. I sometimes call it the parking lot, you know, and do all that, so that when you sit down to write in your so-called writing slot, you know, your daily writing slot, you don't face the challenge of staring at the screen and going, now what do I write? Right? Because you've got so much mal masala going on, you know, in your head, on your scribbles, in your notepad, that now it's a matter of
connecting
it through. Exactly. It's like you've got all the pearls. Now you've just got to rope it into the thread. Then, you know, you got
make it a neat circle, and then you just plot it.
Exactly. Absolutely. So yeah, there is a science behind book writing, correct?
Yes.
Or like they say, method in the madness.
Yeah. I can say I have to, you know, mention this is because when my dad asked me, how did you even finish your book? It's because my dad also had, I said you already, my dad and mom had a dream of writing a book, but they eventually couldn't able to end up. It's because it's like there is a methodology, there is a thing that we need to follow, and like you said, like whenever you get time, you have to write and keep, or else you'll miss something, and then you have to recap. Then you will stuck in the middle, like what to do. So again, it comes from the starting. So that you eventually get little tired of writing, but it's not in that way. You have to keep a schedule, and whenever you get excited, then it will be easier at one point that you can finish it. But you have that confidence. Then you finishing it, then you reach to the point that is your book is going to finish.
Exactly. You have to keep making those baby steps ahead in terms of progress. Otherwise, you just get stuck, like you said, in that loop of doing the same thing again and again and again, and not really moving forward. Right. Exactly. So you have to do the small pieces, which then you can tie up to move forward. Right.
But you need a mentor for it. You need a mentor for it. And I got it the right person.
Yes. No, it does. I couldn't agree with you more for all my selfish reasons, but yes, and I think not just for book writing, for I think any important kind of, or rather big goal, you know, when people start to set up you know, their own venture or something like that, you know, even in entrepreneurship or even moving up in the corporate ladder, you need to have certain people in your life who can, you know, help you create that momentum, who can help you give that clarity, who can build your confidence and give you the skills, the mindset, everything that you need to kind of put it all together and move. And I'm so happy and so thankful that I got to know you through that journey. So
I'm not thankful to you first. I need to mention it. I'm not thankful to you first, because I can say that I had zero idea of how to, you know, make a neat book. But I had a story. I had a line, but I don't know how to plot. I don't know how to design it. I don't know how to.
If you have a line, if you have a line or an idea or a thought, or even just a clear-cut desire and intention, pure intention, you can write a book, right?
Exactly.
Brilliant. And I in fact, I just got to know it, I think, and in our last discussion, right? When you had mentioned that, this was actually a dream that your parents had to become authors, right? And is that a special feeling, Navina?
It is. And I have one thing to tell, which I wanted to tell. When I received my book, I gave it to my mom, and she said me that like she was, you know, interested to write a book when she was young. And later, like a week ago, and then she said me, can you, write? I'll have a storyline. I have a plot. Can you, write on my behalf? because I don't know where to go, how to start, and I stuck in a situation that she didn't know the way to do. Now is that she sees her daughter is doing it, and she want to really tell the story that which was the back of 30 years back, what she really wanted to tell. So that
And
was
that
really
I can thank you so much for sharing that, Novina. I can only vaguely imagine what a beautiful feeling that must be,
it is.
to help your mom actually rekindle
Yeah,
her dream from long back, and give her that hope, that confidence, that desire that wow, if my daughter can do it, so can
mm,
I. Yeah, or
yeah,
together we can. That's so lovely. I can, you know a lot of people ask me what will happen when I write a book. Will this happen? How many books will I sell? Who will buy my book? Will it be converted to a series? And things like that. But I think it's
yeah,
really these beautiful small things which happen, which literally
yeah,
impact our life so much more than all of the
yes.
rest of it, right?
Yeah,
uh,
it's just a different feeling that you will go through when you really get your book on your hand and you feel, yes, it is published and yes, it is happening. I think there's nothing comparable, I can tell. And I felt it how it is. And when people said, books launched, I was, yeah, when I was able to say, yes, it is, that's something different.
Brilliant, brilliant. So now that you know the feeling, and you know that you're already inspiring others to write, what is it that you want to tell your readers or potential readers? Why should they pick up
Yeah.
Bun Bun Jam?
So to my readers, is that like there is little objective, and there is something called you can recap your memory. How was you before? And like after going through the entire story, and then you will tend to question yourself, why am I here? And then you will reach to the point to question yourself, as he said in the starting of the interview. We are going to question ourselves, which is going to make you grow and to know yourself better. That is will happen, like how to do, what is the first stage, then how will you gonna do the process. I think that you can understand in my book, and then you slowly establish yourself, like how it is to understand other person, other's perspective also, and you
Right,
grow as a matured person. Yeah.
right, absolutely. So I think if I were to ask you the question, who is this book for? Let me answer that myself only. I think this book is for anybody who has ever had a friend, right? Simple.
Yeah,
Right? Or
I
for
can tell.
anybody who believes in the power of friendship, and for anybody who wants to
Mm.
get to know themselves better, and be the
Yeah,
best version of themselves as well, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers the 8 billion people on the planet, I guess. So I'm going against my own teachings of find your niche, find your niche. This is no longer a niche. All right, brilliant. Um, Absolutely lovely connecting with you, Navina. And I think from the title, which itself brings a smile to everybody's face, and then the fact that this book is about three friends, and then the fact that there is something deeper in the story of friendship that you have to offer to the reader as well. I think, guys, this is a must read. So you must get your hands on this book. You can go to Amazon right away and get a copy of it. And when you do, I think I want you to say this from your own mouth as an author, that go and leave a review.
Okay. So yeah, review is much more important for
Yeah,
me at this point of time. So
absolutely.
do review my book and uh, read my book. I can definitely tell you that you will have, going back to your memories and then recap your memories and come back. that will definitely happen. And to people who's really having the typical mom who used to talk to you for every time, there's a content again, so you will understand why your mom's like this and why are you like this.
No,
Why
don't
do
give
you
us the
have
whole
like
book.
this?
People go read the book to
No,
understand what
no.
Novena meant. Yeah, absolutely. So, no,
Okay.
so Novena, is this your first book, or is this your first and last book, or is this your only book, or is it the start of something?
It is a start. It's definitely start. As I said, I'm not gonna, end this because, as I said, my mom and dad, there's a line again. They said like, don't stop writing. They said me,
Brilliant.
and which really, boosted me enough. So it's because I eventually started writing for my happiness, and then it ended up that it gave an happiness to my entire family now. So yes, behalf of my mom, behalf of my dad, and behalf of everybody who really wanted to explore, I definitely gonna continue writing, and this is my very first book, and you will have the twist plot in the book. So again, go read my book so you will know what is the second of what is my
That
second
that
book. It
that
is
that is
actually.
the marketeer in Novena now talking. Brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, Novena, for coming here and having this really fun conversation. I think we've all not just got to know a little bit about bun butter jam, but we've also got to know a little bit about you more, and that is so much more intriguing, I think, for all the youngsters. Why just youngsters, even people my age out there, now to go and try and figure out what is this book about and give it a shot. All right. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming, Novena. And I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon again.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I feel so happy about it. Yeah.
My pleasure. Totally my pleasure. All right, Novena. Bye-bye.